Hey YouTube, here we go. This is another guitar I've got in for George. Getting the setup. This is a Tanglewood Memphis, sort of 335, although it's bigger than a 335. I think the 335 is a bit more round. Do you think these horns are longer? Would that make sense? It's probably not physically that much bigger. It feels massive though. It's that thick. Yeah. So this was just in getting a bit of a clean up and a service. He's going to love this guitar when he gets it back because the neck was right out here. The action was that you could get your finger between the string and the 12th fret, so it's never really played as far as I know. There's no model numbers, well it says Tanglewood Memphis on it, there's no model numbers or serial numbers or indication, but I would say 90s Korean, maybe 2000s Korean, I think, I don't know. It's quite heavy for a 335. I've had cheap 335s before and they seem a bit plywoody. I thought this would be plywood as well, they're all plywood, even the Gibson ones. But so it's a nice solid feeling guitar. Sometimes they feel a bit flimsy, this one doesn't. This one feels built like a tank. So set neck, decent hardware, good pickups, Tunematic bridge, 2 volumes, 2 tones. The tip's broken off this switch, but the guy wasn't bothered with whether I fixed it or not. If it had been an easier one to get at, I would have fixed it anyway free, but with these you have to go in through here and it's just a nightmare, so if he's not bothered about it, I'm not going to bother fixing it. Yeah, so I'm not a huge solid body, hollow body fan. This one's got a solid centre block on it, by the way. But compared to the 335s I've had, well, my pal's got the Epiphone No Gallagher one, it kind of feels the same as this, and so did the one I had one with the Saltire on it, because of his No Gallagher's got the the British flag on it. I was like, no, I'll get one with the Scottish flag on it, and they were both very similar, has to be said, and they did like this. Both, I would have said the Aria one I had was it was a cheaper guitar than this, and it felt cheaper than this. This feels more expensive than the Aria version. Yeah, so. And for some reason there's no sound. What the hell? I hope this amp hasn't gone just in again. It was working a minute ago. Right, there's a weak link in my... I just did a video a minute ago of this for 10 minutes. There's a weak link in the distortion, in the loop there. It's fine when I'm not using. If I go into this, there's a slightly wobbly. A dirty contact somewhere. Right. So this is me using the rat pedal, and I'm just talking just now to try and talk myself out of buying a bass that's come up for sale nearby. Quite a nice bass, a Squire, sort of not a Telecaster bass, but like the very early P basses. I've got like the big scratch plate and Telecaster headstock. It's like I'm trying to talk myself out of buying it because I don't need another bass, but it looks damn good. But I don't monetize my channel, so I can do whatever I want. Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way, there's nothing gonna make it happen. The world ain't a loving, I love like the guys one song, it's going to space, now it's looking like heavy metal thunder. Like a dream, nature drive. We were born under the wire. You're down so high. goes. No, but if I was going to buying in the market for a 335 thing, I would definitely look at these, because being a tanglewood Memphis, I don't know. To be honest, I've not looked this up online at all. There might be a huge fan club for them or something, but I don't think tanglewood Memphis reeks of being a very expensive one to buy. You know, I'm not talking about quality buys. I mean, new, I don't know what it would have cost, but I mean now, it doesn't say Epiphone on it, so it might cost less than the Epiphone one, and it might be a better guitar. I would definitely have a look at that. It's very loud when it's unplugged as well. I'm not really that keen on semi-hollows when you play them unplugged, because it doesn't amplify. It's not a nice amplified. It's not a nice sound you hear. You know, it's like it naturally amplifies all the buzzes and the rattles, so you have to play really well. So I might be doing another video this afternoon. Anything to put me off going and buying this bass. I'm just trying not to buy it. So tomorrow there might be a video of my new bass. Hey. Yep. So this is George's guitar number 3. So I've still got one more to go. A Strat with a DiMarzio pickup in it that didn't work, which I've already fixed. But I'm going to swap the strings on it because the strings on it were ancient. Don't reckon this guitar had been played in 20 years. But nice guitar. Recommended if you can pick one of these up for, you know, basically you're not getting a shiter. It's the sort of thing you might possibly get for Sodall and Gumtree, or because nobody knows about Tanglewood Memphis. I think Tanglewood's another one of those companies that kind of did good level guitars and cheap ones. So you probably get, like, you know, a generic sort of Strat copy that's probably not that impressive, but you know, that was for sale for 100 quid when it was new, but they probably at the time were doing these for 300 quid, and everyone remembers the cheap Strat ones because there's 10 of them to every interesting guitar, but it keeps the prices of things like this down. Now, we have no problem gigging with this as a pro level instrument for, you know, Beatles tribute band maybe. Rock and roll.